And thanks for watching Proactive. I'm joined by Peter Jensen. He's the CEO of RocketFuel. Peter, good to see you again.
Likewise, thank you for having me.
So, Peter, PayPal's announced this week the launch of a US dollar stablecoin. And it's the first big fintech company to embrace digital currencies for payments and transfers. Is this good news for the industry?
It's very good news for the industry, and I'm not sure it's the first one. Circle would argue that they are also a big fintech company, but you're right. It's the first of the big established ones, and it's very good news. Every time we have some of the large established players, whether it's BlackRock, Fidelity, Schwab, and all the other companies that have made announcements recently about adopting cryptocurrencies, whether it's an ETF for Bitcoin or in this case, stablecoin, it just proves the value and potential value that digital assets can provide to all of us.
Maybe taking a step back, what is a stablecoin and how would it differ from other cryptos, perhaps?
That is a good question, right? Because a lot of people think that cryptocurrencies are volatile and go up and down in value. And it's true that Bitcoin can and does go up and down in value. They're usually designed for investment purposes. You buy Bitcoin and you hope that it's going to go up and you can make money on that. Then the stable coins are pegged typically to a fiat currency. So in PayPal's example, one of their coins will always be worth $1. So if you buy $1,000 worth of PayPal's coins, they'll always be worth $1,000. It won't go up and won't go down. And so you'd say, why would you want to own those? It's because they are more efficient. When you want to move money from A to B, whether it's cross-border or for a payment in a store, then it's just going to be cheaper, faster, less fraud, and so on. And so we're really seeing how digital assets are now evolving as a utility as opposed to an investment asset. And that is what is going to benefit most of us regular people. We just want an easier, faster, better, cheaper way to make payments.
There has been resistance from financial regulators to stablecoins, Peter. Do you see this continuing, or do you think that with more companies entering the fray, they're going to have to resign themselves to it?
I would say, when you say resistance, I think there has been resistance and still is some in the US, but there are 200 countries around the world. And if you look at what's happening in Singapore, Europe has already announced they're going to do their CBDC. And so, and they did the regulation, 2-3 months ago. So I would say there's been some hesitance in the US. I see that softening up. And I'm pretty sure the reason is that the other countries are moving forward very fast, and we risk losing our normal technological advantage that we normally have here in the US. So I just feel that the US is now catching up to the rest of the world, and that's great because then we can all benefit from it.
Do you think this is going to put pressure on the US government to start legislating? And is that good for the industry or bad for the industry?
Oh, it is already happening. If you follow, I follow a couple of podcasts, and if you follow what is happening right now in Congress, they're moving fast, proposing all sorts of bills in Congress. And it's very nice to see that actually there's some bipartisan support for this starting to become there. And therefore, it's moving fast forward. And it is exactly for that. The train has left the station. We are processing thousands of transactions every single day for both consumers making payments all around the world, but also larger businesses moving stablecoins across borders, right? It's happening, and it's billions of dollars that are happening every single day. And we see some companies who are moving out of the US because there's not enough clarity on the regulation. And the good news is the government is changing here in the US, and it just builds this confidence. I mean, once you can log onto your Fidelity account or your PayPal account and see cryptos there, it takes the mystification out of it. And I think it'll make the average person more comfortable with these new technologies. It always takes time for people to get used to technology.
If this speeds up the implementation or the introduction of a digital dollar, And does that negate the need for stable coins?
Well, the digital dollar is, in my view, a stable coin, right? Per definition, a stable coin is a coin that is pegged to the dollar in this case, or the euro, or wherever. And so the big question is, just like with all the other cryptocurrencies, there are 7,000 of them. Which one is going to survive 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now? It's going to be Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, one of the others. And the same thing, which stable coins are going to be surviving? Is it going to be the privately backed ones by PayPal and Circle, or the government backed? And I think one reason why this is going to speed up the US and other governments' adoption of a CBDC is, what if the PayPal stablecoin or the Circle stablecoin becomes the de facto standard? Then suddenly the government lost that opportunity to control that, and I think that's what they're concerned about. And we don't care. We just want the technology to be out there. We support all of them, right? We just accept any payment with any currency, whether it's a crypto or stable or CBDC. Whatever the customer has, the shopper has, is what we support. We support, I think, 200 today of the most popular ones, and whoever wins is what we're going to support.
Well, I mean, that was going to be my next question, Peter. Will you be adding the PayPal USD to your offering?
Yes, definitely. We are working hard on it, and as soon as it's being rolled out, we will support it. Just like anything else, I do believe that there's going to be a market for it. Usually, we wait to see adoption, because if nobody's using it, we don't need to support it. But I have a pretty good feeling that a lot of people will be using this, because I think I read that PayPal has 450 million users that will have access to this coin. I think a lot of them are going to be using it. And why will they be using it? They're going to have to send money from the US to Mexico or to Europe and what have you. And it's going to be super fast, super cheap, and very secure.
Well, good news for the industry then, Peter. Well, thank you very much for your insights into this once again.
Thank you.
Peter Jensen is the CEO of RocketFuel.